And welcome back, everybody, once again to the PCS. A couple more games to close us out tonight, and we've had some absolute spicy ones. We're certainly going to be looking at tiebreakers tomorrow, Clement. Before we get into this, though, I do want to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsors. They are CTBC Bank, China Airlines, Chunghwa Telecom, and Caliber. Thank you so much for making the PCS possible. Now, Clement, this next game, for Alpha, it may not mean a whole lot, but for Beyond Gaming, a win here puts them in contention for that second-place seed. They're going to be facing off against Machi in a tiebreaker if that happens, and that'll, of course, be tomorrow, pairing right up with the Lieb Impunity game that we already have on the docket.
Yeah, we have a potential for 3 tiebreaker games tomorrow. The second one could happen here if Beyond Gaming wins, and the third one will happen if Hong Kong Attitude wins, which will then send J-Team onto a tiebreaker with Boom Esports. So that's what we're looking forward to. Still a lot of League of Legends to go into, and this is a bit of a one-sided matchup, but to be honest, I think it's very important for Beyond Gaming, and we can talk about some of the changes that we have seen for this team recently. First, just going through their roster. Liang still starting in the top side. Recently, they have been going for a lot more Ashe compositions, and we also saw them use the Rumble against J-Team, which I think is, starting to catch up to more of the international drafts that we saw in the LPL and the LCK, where a lot more of these Drake-focused drafts were coming out.
Yeah, we're starting to see some adaptation from the Beyond Gaming squad in those departments, and it's certainly working out well for them right now. See if they can carry this one through. I wonder how they're approaching this one, because obviously, if they want to keep in contention for that second, it is a must-win. But they're up against Alpha Esports, a team with not the most coordination. I wonder if they are going to use this as a bit of a test bed, experiment a little bit, or if they will just try and speedrun it to its finish. Their opponents, of course, will be Alpha Esports. They are out of playoffs. They are playing for nothing but pride, or maybe to deny a tiebreak scenario. They are 3Z, K-Babe, Xiaotu, An, and Sheng. And they will be looking to close out their split and maybe do it on a high note. That would be a moral victory at the least.
That would be an amazing upset, and Machi would definitely be cheering them on if that's the case. I'm trying to think how Alpha could come out ahead on this matchup, just going through the lanes one by one, and it's really hard, honestly. I feel like the mid-jungle from Beyond Gaming has just leveled up so much that it's hard to even see Xiaotu and KB making a dent, but we will be taking a look at the bottom lane here. Really an old veteran in An and a new up-and-comer. Both of these guys have played on the AHQ organization, made their names there. Yeah. Now that they're facing head-to-head, I think it's time for Dago to take the crown from his senior here.
Yeah, the biggest difference really does come out into that goal differential and, of course, in the KDA, and that speaks to just, I think, overall how well that this Beyond Gaming team is not only able to lane, but roll games forward. But in terms of just pure damage, An has been keeping up at the very least, so he's doing quite a bit, as it sounds like we are heading into picks and bans. LeBlanc, Olaf banned away. Olaf, definitely one of those champions that you like to ban up against K-Babe, because he can do things on that champion that are not all that great for your team. Fresh Viego now, and the Karma ban out as well. Okay.
Oh, I like Alpha Esports is taking away the Renekton. We saw the Renekton plus the Rumble combo a little bit earlier on. Beyond Gaming definitely experimenting as they flash the Garen. I never think they're going to pick that one up.
No way. But the Xin Zhao makes a lot of sense.
Yep, for sure. Recently, their trend has been to go for more AP jungles and just play with AD on Malan. Malan was a bit of a control mage one trick in spring, but he's been trying to get with the times and play other different champs. Well, I don't think Alpha Esports has ever really locked into Gwen.
Never.
3Z is, yeah, they're just a weak side top laner, so don't think that actually fits them.
Yeah, instead they're going to go for the Varus. Picked it up in the hands of An, has been his most played champion, will be his most played champion down the end of the split. And the quick Rise lock-in for Xiaotu, also a takeaway against Maoan.
Oh, could be seeing a second Orianna game in a row here. This is pretty rare in the PCS. Orianna is just not a very popular pick at the moment. Not a lot of front-to-back team fights to speak of. Beyond Gaming, big part of their draft is that they are willing to play Aphelios regardless if the Thresh is available or not. We have seen them pair it up with the Braum or just with engaged supports. Like they actually don't care sometimes. So are just going to go for what looks like a front to back for now.
Yeah, locking the Orianna pairs nicely with the Xin Zhao at the very least, and Keep it tight with Vilios. Won't have a Thresh to pair with that, but I don't know if Kino's really going to mind. He has a lot of champions in his wheelhouse. On the Alpha side, well, they don't necessarily need to try and get a counter pick top side. They just want to get a power pick. So they will lock in that Camille for 3Z.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see junglers actually being selected in the second round. Because jungler picks are actually very high power these days between the Diana, the Xin Zhao. So you usually see junglers just being snatched up as soon as possible. So it's kind of baffling to see. Maybe Alpha Esports have some specific pick for K-Babe that they think that could fit the situation a little bit better than some other picks, but they're definitely waiting and biding their time to see the entire composition for Beyond Gaming come out. Just really interesting, and I think this is only something you see on Alpha Esports because K-Babe kind of is their main carry.
Yeah, going to try to set him up for success, or at least set their top laner up for success by banning that Fiora out. Wouldn't be surprised if another counter matchup goes away, and Beyond should probably continue to ban those junglers, already getting rid of the Lee Sin. And yeah, the Jax, there we go. So they're just trying to say, 3Z, we're going to try to give you as softball of a lane as possible. The Trundle ban, that'll come out there. And now we get to see our answer, unless they pick the jungle last.
It's not my favorite way to draft. Pick something blind and then ban 2 champions for it. This is, in my book, this is always a very risky tactic because there could just be a third counter. So,
it's Sejuani. That's a support, I believe, though.
Interesting.
Well, actually, it could be either.
Yeah, we definitely have seen a couple of Sejuani jungles pop up here and there. I think Karsa is the one that really plays it in the LPL, and I think Sejuani is a little bit underrated in a meta where you can gank a lot more. Sejuani actually isn't all that bad, and her engage potential on some of these poke champions like Varus and Ashe, which are very prevalent in the meta, actually ends up quite strong.
Yeah, Permafrost could definitely set things up, and they have, honestly, the makings of a decent catch composition, a lot of CC on the Alpha side. Beyond will go ahead and lock in their big tanky boy in the form of Set. That should be a Leon champion, but, we could see it in the support position, but not when Nautilus is up. So I don't think we'd be too surprised to see that locked in, and now we've got quite a decent bit of front line coming in for the Beyond Gaming lineup. So they have completed their front-to-back composition, and it's all Freljord to round things out with that Braum lock-in for Shung.
Yeah, really interesting draft pattern coming in from Alpha Esports, hiding the Sejuani until later on into the draft. Didn't really expect that to come out. It's a lot of engage on their team, and it looks like what Alpha Esports are doing is essentially they're running a pick composition without assassins. It's just kind of the same logic behind everyone packs crowd control. The entire team has some form of hard crowd control, and if they find a target, they will kill a target. It's just a comp that doesn't allow you to run away. In the meantime, Beyond Gaming are going for, I think, a very strong engage and defensive draft at the same time. You have Crescent Guard to take away these targets. You can create a defensive zone. Death Charge slows people down, and then you have the Showstopper that can just take targets back. So I feel like, I do like the draft a lot better from Beyond Gaming. There's more different outs to play for, and I think you can interact with the composition coming out from Alpha Esports quite well.
There are a lot of tools that Beyond have given themselves, and that is kind of a signature. They tend to draft a lot of versatility. They tend to give themselves options to win the games. And this is a team that, has looked very, very good, dropped a couple of uncharacteristic games. It seemed like some teams were able to surprise them, and this is why they're not locked into that second position. They're going to have to win this one and fight it out against Machi if they do want to re-secure their place as a second seed going into the playoffs. But Alpha, they could look to play spoiler here, and they're certainly going to do their darndest, even if it is just for pride, try to pick up one more win and go out on a high note for the summer split. But we will have to see.
Yeah, for sure. I think Alpha are sticking to their guns. It's very similar to what we've seen the entire split. If Xiao2 or K-Bae finds an engage, the rest of the team can follow up. They can lock down a target. It's a very skirmishy and death brush oriented composition. So we'll see if they can catch Beyond Gaming off by surprise. However, my prediction is if Beyond Gaming stay together for most of the game, I don't really see them having a trouble with this sort of a setup. It's very difficult to rush past something like an Orianna ball to then find your target on Doggo.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be a tall order. And Doggo will be the champion of choice if they can. He's already packing that cleanse out early on, and no real shenanigans here for Alpha. You know, as a wise person once said, the cheesiest cheese of all is not to cheese.
I have not heard of this wise person whatsoever.
It's an old StarCraft reference. You have to really go back in the days. I think it might have been Artosis. I actually don't remember who said it.
I'm going 2 racks in the middle of the map, but nah, I'm actually just going natural expand.
Oh, like you're sending me. You're sending me back to the old days. Oh my goodness!
Dude,
all right.
I was a StarCraft fan as well. That was my first esports. It was so good.
Same, man. Okay. All right. Well, there is a little bit of shenaniganery as Maoan finds Xiaotu, chasing him through the jungle here. Maoan should be okay. Level 1. Not that much that a Rise can do with just overload.
Yeah, good find right there, though. Still gets a couple pots off of him. And I think for this trade, though, Beyond Gaming do spot out where the start is. They should be able to place pretty safely bottom side, have a good timer, and when Sejuani is actually going to hit the lane. And Sejuani early on, like, she can throw some ganks, not really that proficient at it. Much more of a wait until level 6 champion.
You're waiting for the Glacial Prison, right? Like, you really want to get the Ice Ball out because that just locks somebody in place to full-on take them down. Or at the very least, burn a summoner, and then you can stack more CC on top of them. We will want to keep an eye on K-Babe once level 6 does come through, but in the meantime, for the Beyond Gaming squad, seems like they can sort of sit back and relax for right now. We have seen really strong competitive laning on every side of this map from this team. Ward does spot K-Babe, so we'll keep an eye on him.
And we do also see K-Babe running with the Ingenious Hunter. So getting early kills in stacks is actually pretty impactful for him. Gets the takedowns, get extra ability haste on his abilities, and that seemed kind of redundant. But what Sejuani allows you to do better than any other champion is actually just gank through lane. Her lane ganks are very difficult to avoid, and it means that even if you have vision in her jungle, you can't always predict where K-Babe will show up. So this is a very nice champion if you want to just surprise the opponent. Like, if the opponent is doing everything wrong, sometimes they still cannot anticipate where you're going to come from.
Yeah, fair dues. Keep an eye down in bottom side as well, because, you know, it may have been a little while as Tago flashes the... he wants no one to forget that he got to go to MSI with PSG talent. No one will ever get to forget that.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's taken a liking to just flashing PSG, because it definitely did not do them any favors in the matchup versus PSG themselves. Like, we saw PSG...
You can't brag to the team that you were on.
Yeah, they kind of just manhandled Beyond Gaming this split, so it didn't really go all that well. So I really hope that he has another flag to wave, but we have the gank incoming with Husha.
Yeah, really good bait by Liang, just getting a little bit low and opting into this one as 3Z. Might have to burn that flash. Ooh, pulled back with the face breaker. Easy peasy as you like. That's first blood.
I'm surprised that 3Z would fall for this one, because they actually knew where the start was from the opponent jungler. And honestly, Husha just full clear top. So nothing really sneaky about his pathing. He just straight up walked there and killed him with Alpha Esports knowing about his path. Yeah, that's just Alpha Esports for you guys.
It's a little bit rough, unfortunately. K-Babe will take an opportunity to get a little counter jungling going, but unfortunately, Husha is here. Says thank you for the leash. I appreciate it.
Not sure about the counter so much. Husha definitely showing up on time here, and again, they are going to have knowledge on the pathing. I like what 3Z is doing, at least. You know, he's dropping a ward down, making sure that the repeat gank isn't going to come through. Still has his flash right there. And this game, I think you're seeing a huge lead come out from Husha just from jungle tracking. He has 2 wards on both camps on the top side. He knows that K-Babe actually did pretty slow recall here. And he can actually contest them if he wants to. He can go war hunting early on.
Yeah, Liang doing a pretty good job of trying to freeze 3Z away right now. And, you know, the set just has a decent bit of damage, and you can see him punching through a little bit. However, 3Z is able to dish a little more. As long as he's able to stay safe this time from the gank, should be able to start turning on the heat.
Yeah, really nicely played from 3Z. He actually got the adaptive defense is up early. And Xiaotu playing with fire here. What?
Yeah, still stick around for damage. I mean, you know, it's easy to feel like we're exaggerating when we say he has no regard for his own safety, but that's absolutely true. As 3Z pulls Liang back, K-Babe comes in.
Really gets it.
Really wants that kill, and he's forced to flash away, but K-Babe will secure it. That is a pre-6 gank from Sejuani, straight up the river.
Really nicely done here. Even though there was a lot of wards on the top side, no one was there to interfere, and they get a kill on a level 6 set. That was pretty dicey in all honesty. Could have gone wrong quite a couple ways, but they do find the kill in the end, and now K-Babe is able to catch up to the jungle farm, and this is something that is going to help him quite long term. To get a pre-6 stack on Ingenious Hunter just means you can run those ganks that many times afterwards, as Sejuani does have a pretty long cooldown early on. It's 120 seconds on level 1. It's so smart from K-Babe.
I love it. You think he's leaving? Nah, I'm coming right back for your Merkwolves. Okay, Dragon will go down. Husha takes that one, but while he was away, K-Babe taking away his jungle this time, so he has been committing to that life. Oh, is he going to leave? I thought is he going to leave one Merkwolf? Oh, that is so rude.
Doesn't even clean up after himself. K-Babe, keep on doing what you're doing. Now he has the Glacial, and he can just go walk top right now. Like, there is no one that's going to gank this one. And if you look at the top lane, yeah, the wave is actually pushing out, so we could have getting a repeat on Liang.
He might go for the dive, actually. He's going to wait for this one. We'll see if the push can come through. I think 3Z, this will be pretty telegraphed. No, he's actually just going to hop the wall into the X-Tech Ultimatum, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I don't see Liang getting out of this one anytime soon, but he does have serious damage. There we go. K-Babe claiming kill number 2.
Oh, that was such a beautiful play coming in from K-Babe. Just outsmarting the top side. Beyond Gaming definitely thought that he went for his own red. Didn't expect him to come from that angle, and then he picks up a repeat kill. So at this point, we might be seeing the Camille starting to inch ahead here and get into that 1-3-1 phase. You know, we were talking about the stacks the entire time. With 2 stacks already, that cooldown should be relatively low. It should be under probably like under 110 seconds. Also, you have to consider that he just went for the Lucidity boots here. So this is a Sejuani that has very, very quick ultimate timers, and what Alpha Esports just wants to do here is make sure that the laning phase actually continues, where they can just keep on picking up these kills over and over.
K-Babe does eventually go to secure his own red buff, but meanwhile, Beyond Gaming are going to be starting off on this Rift Herald. It will be done in Vision. And a lot of thumbs up this game from both these squads. All on. Doggo goes deep in onto him and actually burns his cleanse to make sure he can keep fighting. Oh, that was fast.
Doggo does not enjoy your jokes. Just walks up onto on. It's just like... Oh, Husha's gonna get caught out here.
K-Babe, is actually going to have to get the ult on, and he's still gonna fall. K-Babe coming up huge this game, and now Doggo is in a little bit of trouble as he's going to try and flash away. The piercing arrow does connect, and On will claim to kill Xiaotu, and Shung juggling aggro on the tower on playing with fire here, but he is going to be able to walk it out. Shung looking for the body block. There's the knock-up on the depth charge, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for Xiaotu. Shung sure to follow as well. So On got out just fine. That's the good news for Alpha.
They definitely overstayed their welcome. I feel like they were a little bit confused on the escape route. Should have just went straight back onto the lane itself. Instead, they went up towards the inner try. And now Liang gets some quality time with 3Z in the top side as both junglers are incoming.
Oh, that's going to be the showstopper, but into the Hextech Ultimatum. 3Z going to get dropped before, but Xiaotu looks to tag his way into this one as they want to take down Husha. K-Babe forced to flash away. Xiaotu picking up one. K-Babe managing to make his escape. Should start backing in that brush, but right now Xiaotu going to be stuck in a 1v2 situation. K-Babe tagged. Doggo gets the shutdown. He knew exactly where K-Babe was, but Xiaotu is trying to get Liang off his back and will finally do it.
Great prediction from Doggo. He just fired at the most right position on the inner try. Sometimes there's a couple of mind games that go on here. Sometimes the enemy goes a little bit towards the left, but he just knew about it.
Oh, Liang. Oh, the flash forward into the face breaker. Does he have the damage? Follow up. Xiaotu into the brush. He goes. Oh, that was a lot closer than comfort would have allowed. Xiaotu gets the kill, though.
It's about 2 autos attacks off from just finishing that play, but of course Set has double, and we have another fight here from Kino.
Yes, we do. 3Z and Shung comboing up, looking for Kino at the moment. In comes K-Babe at the backside. Well, that's just going to buy a second. In fact, it might buy a little bit more with the double root on. Kino actually walks away from this one as Maon completes his TP.
Mon comes in. Oh, doesn't find the ultimate right there.
Looking for the counter engage around the side. Look at that, on dishing the damage. But meanwhile, Husha going deep and finding 2. K-Babe and Shung falling down. 3Z steps in for a second win, but it's not going to be enough. Husha coming up with the triple kill. And Beyond, they're flying.
Beyond just were sick of all these cross-map shenanigans, and they decide to brute force. I think it's really telling to see both Beyond Gaming and Liab come to the same conclusion against Alpha. If you play a messy game split across the map where there's just constant action, it's actually much more of a headache. You just brute force against Alpha 5v5, and you take them down one by one. Unfortunately here for this engagement, really wasn't enough damage, and K-Babe was a couple seconds off of the Glacial Prison, so not able to get the one-shot off on Kino. They're able to walk away, and look at Doggo, how long he actually holds on to the Gravitum right here. Waits for the perfect time for the enemy members to come back. Dust Wave instantly into Shockwave Gravitum combo. That was absolutely beautiful to watch. They get everything in that play, and then you have Husha coming in for the triple cleanup, plus most likely 2 towers straight down mid. Oh, they nearly
get a second charge on Shelly at the very least. That certainly worked out. Alpha trying to set up a little bit of a death blast cone here. It's only 3 members against the 4. They actually are going to opt into taking this because On's around, but oh, instantly just a bit of a flyby. Counter engage maybe? I don't know if they want this. Looking for Doggo. Instant cleanse. Braum knock up. Not going to be nearly enough. And K-Babe, Shung will both fall. That was what you call an ill-advised engagement. As now the showstopper comes out, 3Z and Liang dueling it out, but Liang's fists are stronger than the old scissor legs, and 3Z's going to walk away with a sliver of health.
That was pretty interesting engage from Alpha Esports. They were clearly spotted going over the wall. So I'm not sure how they expected that to work. There was a 4-man stack coming in from Beyond Gaming, and Doggo had cleanse. So I just don't know about that. On, like usual, left to his own devices here. Has to burn the flash just to get away.
And Shung's just going to try to keep him alive. Xiaotu actually comes in on the Realm Warp to dissuade any further aggression. But meanwhile, Doggo just has... He's got a free tower buffet down bottom.
Yeah, this is your Alpha special where they try to make the impossible happen. It's just... I feel like they're just testing Beyond Gaming's level of object permanence, and Beyond Gaming says, yeah, we know you're there. We know all of you are there. So, I just don't know why they pulled the trigger on that.
It was a very... Like, you could see On looking to come in for collapse. At best, it was a 4v4. And it just... Yeah, that was weird, man.
Well, okay. The good thing for Alpha Esports is, hey, they have a very low cooldown Ice Bola, so that's going for them.
Yep.
See if they can
definitely keep an eye on K-Babe. He started off really well with the 3 kills, and then unfortunately he's fed 3 deaths after the fact. Husha has kind of started to roll forward, and quietly picked up the Gore Drinker and has been rolling with it ever since. And big old bounty on his head, but you know, we'll see. Really do like the combo, the Orianna, and Felia's combo has worked out very well as Xiaotu's forced to flash away. Beyond definitely playing this comp to a T.
Yeah, so many easy summoners just being taken by Beyond Gaming, and Alpha, I'm not sure what they're trying to do here. Losing the mid lane was so detrimental. If they kept that lane, they could continue to lane and just attack with the Glacial Prison off cooldown. I think that's their best strategy. But now with the map open like this, they actually have to find side lane pushes, and because Beyond Gaming are just stronger on the map, they get to pick where to go. And
they pick on to Xiaotu. Nice little combo there from Doggo and Kino. He was able to pick him up, and even though the tower does fall in the mid, I think that is absolutely worth. At this point, it was going to get knocked over sooner or later. Husha also grabbing himself a Rift Herald as Maon pushes topside. I think this should be an easy pop.
Yeah, I feel like Xiaotu just going way too far on this. It doesn't really have a reason to be there on the map. but he just decides to stay, and Kino, like, he's not even wearing Moby boots, he's just walking in on it and is able to catch up to the engage from Dago. Very nicely played here. I think this is the make or break point for Alpha Esports. They need to get something off of the Siege. They do have a 5v4 opportunity here, and unfortunately, Megabank Beyond Gaming, they're way too smart for this one. They see the Scryer orb come down, instantly back off.
Gonna respect that. You know, Beyond Gaming, they've definitely dropped games to their own hubris before, dropped engagements. They're not gonna fall for it now. And they are just in full control of this game. Remember what they're playing for. They're the team with the stakes at the moment. And the stakes are trying to get that second seed, which means a bye in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The best they can hope for is a tiebreak against Machi, but with a win here, they guarantee it.
On has no flash.
On Chains of Corruption and heal. Ooh, that was a lot to just try and get away from Liang. And now the rest of Alpha. Liang is just like, he's a big old bully right now, even though he's 0-3. He can chase people down.
I feel like Alpha Esports are just playing a cat and mouse game to distract Megabank Beyond Gaming from ever grouping up. It's like, if we keep this going, then someone in the map is going to be able to pick up farm. And if you sacrifice yourself, then Xiao2 can get to the state where he can start to carry. Maybe.
Yeah.
So let's try.
Game plan.
Xiao2, what? Come on, Xiao2.
Unfortunately, Xiao2 gets caught right now, and he's just rooted for days. Absolutely nothing he can do. 3Z gonna have to head over the wall. And honestly, I think you got to start breaking out the Acne Sacks every time we see Alpha moving on the map right now, because it is just absolutely all over the place. Beyond looking to clean up wherever they can. They're still having cross maps, Clement. It's just unfortunately not doing anything for Alpha.
Yeah, you know, I was talking about the theory that maybe they're trying to get Xiao2 fed. After I watched Xiao2 walk into a 3-man stack like that, I was not sure anymore.
Oh, yeah, there we go. 2-man shockwave to pull in, and Liang's just tanking for days as he throws out the haymaker. K-Babe looks for an execution. Doesn't quite find it. Liang with the outplay still, and Maoan will actually end up with that kill credit. Meanwhile, Xiao2 again comes straight back in on the teleport and loses a third of his health bar, just like that. Maoan's still threatening even without the shockwave available. The hook in, and he just chases too far forward. It's like Xiao2 doesn't know how to back.
Yeah, it feels like Xiao2 is just going, oh, please end my life. Like, I don't want to stay here anymore. It's
actually running it down.
Yeah, that's... Oh,
dear.
Jeez. This is kind of sad to see, honestly. I don't think the game's completely was out for Alpha Esports. You know, they still had a pick composition. There were still ways to play it, but not like that.
Yeah, no. Fusha once again denying last Merc Wolf, as K-Babe did to him. It's only fair. Yeah, this is rough for Alpha. They just don't have an answer to anything that Beyond are doing, and they are kind of running around like headless chickens at the moment.
The thing for me is that it doesn't seem like they're giving their best attempt at it either, which is, I think, more painful here. It's, you know, we just have seen Xiao2 so many times this past week just sort of charge into the enemy team on very low percentage plays. Like, that was especially egregious for me because there was no backup. Like, no one in the team was actually going to go forward there, and just goes in 1v3 and dies. So I just want to know what's happening on Alpha Esports, and I hope that they can, you know, get themselves out of this mental rut that they're in.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it is the last game of the split for them. They don't have much to play for but pride, but you're right. You do hate to see a team just kind of playing like they're already defeated, even if, you know, the enemy team is a strong one. They've got to be able to play to win this, and let's see if the defense can hold things up. As 3Z just pushing on the side, but unfortunately, well, he's got K-Babe at his back. If they can get the bait off. Oh, it doesn't quite land what they needed to. Liang is actually going to be able to play this one safe. It's a 4v3 topside right now for Beyond Gaming on the Siege.
Oof, emotes coming out as well. I can't believe Liang actually dodged out on both Winter's Wraths right there and was able to stay alive. Didn't get the extended stun with the stacks going down, so Alpha Esports just decided not to go for it. And looks like there's another play onto Xiao2's life.
Oh dear. Yep. Gonna flash forward, keep on running. Not much he can do. Usha picking up another kill, and now it is going to be an on-spawn Baron for Beyond Gaming. They're strong enough to pull this one off.
Alright, Beyond, just make it quick. I think that's all we were hoping for at this point. Oh, K-Babe does find a good pick.
Hold on. Maoan actually gets caught here as the teleport's going to come in. They're still on the Baron, and yeah, beyond a little bit of an unforced error by Maoan, but he will be able to back to base and teleport in. K-Babe is up if he wanted to go for the hero steal. But unfortunately, he wanders right into the precise location of all of Beyond Gaming as they turn right back as if nothing was happening.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pick from Liang, knowing that the Sejuani had to come down. No flash on the Sejuani, so easy prediction right there. And inbound goes again with the speed up.
That's going to be the face breaker, looking to pull people in. Hextech ultimatum, 3Z. Really not much you can do there as he's trying to run away. Still that mid tower even up. And a big old deletion is Doggo getting himself both credits for the kills. Hook goes a little bit wide to Xiao2 on the dodge, but...
I'm not sure you want to take that. Oh, he gets out!
He did actually get it. Give him credit. He pulled that one off.
Very dangerous to try that in front of the Nautilus, but no flash on Kino, so able to take the getaway truck.
Xiao2 finally managed to find a way to retreat while still walking forward. But unfortunately now he's in a little bit of trouble because as that inhibitor is falling, he can try to turn things around here. And in goes the Ice Bowl. They do manage to find Maoan, but no follow-up damage available here. Piercing Arrow charging up does find a little bit more, but it's going to be Xiao2 deleted. Maoan starting to seriously stack up in damage. And Beyond, it looks like they're tired of the shenanigans. They want to close this one out and set themselves up for a date with Destiny tomorrow against Machi. That's a big old shockwave from Maoan. Still going on K-Babe here. He tries to get out. Not enough minions just yet, but if they can get another kill, that tune would change. I think for now they're going to be happy with what they got. Oh, wait a minute. 3Z pulled back in, and that's the game changer once more. Now K-Babe going to be caught out, forced to flash away. They're looking to chase him down all the way to Fountain here as they find just enough damage to take him down, and this is going to be it. It doesn't even matter that Liang goes down because the Nexus does, and Beyond Gaming have a tie break tomorrow.
Well, at least Alpha Esports didn't go completely winless through the split, so they're still better than B5. That's what we can say about it. The end there, it definitely felt like...
They got the not worse than B5 award. We'll give them that.
Yeah, so not historically bad. I think that's what was down with an Alpha Esports season right there. It felt like at the end, they were just asking Beyond Gaming to come back and finish the game. They're like, guys, don't go away. Like, you got a chance to close this down. Please try a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see him drop. I mean, I think Alpha never really found the coordination, the identity they were really looking for this split. So, better luck next time, I suppose. But for Megabank Beyond Gaming, they have a chance to secure that second place after kind of dropping a little bit down in the standings. And I think that matchup against Machi tomorrow is going to be extremely tense.
Yeah, this one is going to be back and forth for sure. I feel like Machi were the ones, the promised team that kind of was unthroned by the arrival of Megabank Beyond Gaming, and a lot of great matchups to watch out for. I feel like what we have seen from the two teams is basically Machi has delved more into their identity as a 1-3-1 team. They have broadened their reach in terms of the champions that G-Man is great on, the champions that Lee Kai is great on, while on the other hand, we had a very different type of growth coming out from Megabank Beyond Gaming, where they're trying all different sorts of compositions. Like, they started out as a one-trick set plus Kaisa pick comp, and they went into an Aphelios composition. They now play the 1-3-1 themselves. At the end of the split, they also bringing out the AD mid laners for Maoan. So it's been a great split for Megabank Beyond Gaming overall. I think it is spurred on a lot by, I would call it the cultural transfer between Doggo and PSG, but you could definitely see them leveling up in all aspects. So that match is going to be great. One about mastery in one particular composition, and the other one about just increasing the breadth of what they can play.
Yeah, I really like that storyline. It's going to be very exciting going into tomorrow's games. And as a reminder to everybody, because I don't think we've really expressed it explicitly, those games will be played at the regular time tomorrow. We'll be starting at 4 p.m. Taiwan time. That is GMT +8. So, yeah, definitely keep on the lookout for that. Really exciting. We have 2 games locked in. Big implications for the playoffs now. And we'll see if we get even more here. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's take a look at this game again. Alpha, they never really quite got rolling. I think there were a couple of good plays. They did find Liang at least once on the top side. Xiao2, he might have had at least one outplay there, but it just never seemed like enough. And Maoan will claim himself an MVP. We have seen this man do absolutely disgusting things on some of these control mages, and shockwave after shockwave he proved it again today.
Yeah, he was so patient with those as well. A lot of times these shockwaves weren't like the, you just send command attack out instantly shockwave. It was on the retreat path of the opponent, waiting in for the correct sequence of abilities, whether it be Dustwave Gravitum or either the slowdowns coming in from Xin Zhao. So it was really beautiful to watch them play this one. A lot of variations in the way that they know how to execute on this composition. And that's just Malan going back to his, the role that he started out with. Malan was a bit of an Azir one-trick in Spring. That's all he played. And now to see him have the meta turn around where he can once again go back onto his control mages is going to be a huge boon for them in playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do. But we got one more game before we close out the night. So don't go anywhere. The PCS will continue right after this.